Going on, everybody? StevenBearKing here with another episode of Let's Play Chess here on YouTube, here on the chess.com live server. The pieces and everything on the board look a little bit different. Right now I've actually lost my premium membership just for the time being. It's the first time I've lost my premium membership, I believe, in about 4 years. I've been, subscribed to chess.com, so it's really kind of a bummer. There's a lot of things I'm missing out on. But again, as I've said before, chess.com is completely free to play chess on, so you can always have a free account, hop on chess.com and play. Your pieces might not look the greatest and things like that, different things you can't do. But you can always come play free games of chess on chess.com, the best place to play chess on the internet as far as I'm concerned. So we're going to hop right into a game today. Hopefully I can bring my better chess playing abilities and actually win some games today, because the last couple of live blitz sessions we've done here hasn't gone out too well for me. So we're going to try to play a little bit better, hopefully. Like I said, it's hard to play chess and talk at the same time. It's all for entertainment purposes only. So we're definitely going to try to do our best. Luckily, this is a line I'm pretty comfortable with. I've seen it enough times to kind of know what I'm doing, so hopefully we can show that in this game. A real quick shout out to a couple things. The U.S. Chess Championship had just gone on in St. Louis, Missouri, here in the United States, and St. Louis, Missouri is now officially the chess capital of the United States of America, thanks to its, brilliant chess club that they have there. Check out their YouTube channel, St. Louis Chess Club, if you haven't had a chance to go over there and check them out, because they're doing, a lot of really good things with chess in the United States and promoting chess and chess with kids and everything like that. So beautiful chess club that they have. I'd really like to go and visit sometime. It looks really cool. But yeah, shout out to the U.S. Chess Championships, where Gadakomsky retained his title as U.S. champion, and excuse me, in a what looked like to be a comeback in the last few rounds of the tournament, which is good for him. He had a kind of slow start, but then he started pulling things together, and managed to win the tournament, which is great for him. So congratulations to him. Irina Krush remained U.S. Chess Championship in the women's tournament. She's been dominating that tournament for a few years now too. So congratulations to her on her victory. Like I said, you can go and watch recaps and replays of the live shows that they broadcasted on the St. Louis Chess Club's YouTube channel here on YouTube. So go check it out if you're interested. Really strong tournament, full grandmaster field, lots of different grandmasters like Ray Robson and Sam Shanklin, and I'm drawing a blank here while I'm trying to play chess and talk about grandmasters, but they had Alexander Linderman, which is I'm a huge fan of his. I've watched some of his videos on chess.com. So he's a really good chess player. I really wanted to kind of see him win the tournament, but that's not what happened. But he did put on a really good show. So it was really fun to watch him play. I think I'm going to try to take over this square here and kick this bishop a little bit and hop my knight into this square. If he takes, I think it's safe to take back with my queen. But yeah, I was really enjoying the little bit of coverage that I was able to watch of the U.S. Chess Championships. Really, oh, my blundering stuff here. Blundering that pawn at least, but not too good for me right there. That's what that is. Not too good at all. But I think I'm safe right here. He can't fork me on the F2 square. So kind of risky to put my queen right here, but I think I don't have too much of a choice. Yeah, see, some things are definitely going down right here. Is there going to be a way that I can bail out from this? Not having a good start right now. Let's see. See, I have this urge to just trade pieces now that I'm in trouble, and that's not always the best idea to just start trading pieces right when you start getting into trouble. let's see, I might have to back up and just kind of challenge this knight on this dominant position here in the center of the board, because I don't have any pawns there anymore since I lost them. I can't really kick it out of the center. So if I could trade some pieces this way, it might benefit me a little bit. That knight's a monster. I don't like it. I don't like my queen being x-rayed by the bishop right there either. So if I can, trade off some of that pressure there and admit to my mistakes that I, completely lost all of the pieces in the center. So I think maybe now he's blundered. So let's just see. I don't think he's blundered anything. He should be able to just take back the bishop there and then take back the knight. But it did. If he takes back the knight, and I can, he might have, let me off the hook just a little bit for my bad mistakes if I can maybe find a way. Because now all of a sudden, I am a little bit more developed, and I'm going to take this with check. Then I'm going to have him help develop my pieces. If he wants to trade queens, at least my bishop will come out, and I gain a little bit of time by that. So there's a little like tidbit for you if you're a beginner at chess and you have a chance, let the opponent develop your pieces by taking your pieces, instead of which, where if I would have took his queen, then he would have took back with his king. And even though you want your king safe when it's an endgame like this, oh, I do have a piece here. That's wonderful. That's perfect. So we're not doing as bad as I thought. I don't know why I thought I was losing so badly, but well, let's see. This pawn is hanging. But so yeah, like I was saying, just try to recapture with your pieces instead of taking your opponent's pieces and having them recapture and bring their pieces farther up the line is really helpful. So keep that in mind if you're, starting out and playing some chess. Just a few tidbits. Not that I'm, a grandmaster and should be giving anybody lessons on how to play chess, but there it is for you if you want to take my advice on something like that. So we're going to try and increase pressure by bringing our rook down to the 7th rank, keeping our bishop looking down on this square right here. If I ever wanted to, I can relocate the bishop over to this side and put pressure on his king side. So that's why the bishop is a really good piece in an endgame like this. And maybe he realizes that and wants to keep the piece out of this square. But what we still got going on here is going to be a little bit of the piggy, as they call it. A rook on the 7th rank is a piggy. So, and let's see. So I still think I can go ahead and bring, So I'm getting kind of low on time as well. Let's go ahead and offer an exchange of one pair of rooks at least. And if I take back like this, I'm at least adding pressure. Was going to take back with the rook, but I realized that this is it's where I kind of wanted my bishop to be anyways now, so I have pressure on both sides of the board. Now I can swing my rook over here and hopefully start just gobbling up these pawns and being a pretty easily winning endgame with 1 minute and 5 seconds and a 2-second increment should be more than enough time to win this position, as long as I don't make any horrific mistakes, which I'm known to be able to do from time to time. So we're going to try to avoid that. One of the big mistakes I can make is moving my king out at the time when this bishop would have been pinned by the rook that he just moved to that square. So we're going to go ahead and provide some support to the bishop, keep it on a square where it's not hanging, keep it on a square where it's defending this pawn on this side of the board where, these pawns have my king already and my rook on this side of the board. So they're pretty good. These pawns need a little bit of attention if the rook comes down, on another square or something. So I'm going to go ahead and move my king up. The king is very important in an endgame. I want to keep his, rook from from getting in onto these squares here. So what I can do is still come down and put pressure on these pawns. And if I go ahead and play right here, should be okay. I'm going to go ahead and take back with the king in this position. Keep these two pawns together, protecting each other. And if I come here, I'm now providing extra attack on this pawn, so he has no pieces to come and defend this, so I'm going to win this regardless. He can't check me from this square thanks to the bishop, so a lot of things working out in this position for me, making it quite easy. Again, like I said, very excited if I can get a W here. Trading rooks was not the best idea for him. Now I'm just in a completely winning endgame. I'm just going to go ahead and give up that bishop because I don't need it, because this pawn's running down the board and getting a queen, and there's not anything that he can do about it. So we'll see what he tries to pull off here. He's going to come and try to win these pawns down here. Maybe not. And there's the resignation. So he's gone ahead and offered a rematch. We're going to go ahead and accept him, see if we can get maybe 2 wins here. I got the black pieces this time. He's playing d4, so hopefully he'll play c4, and he does. That way I can get into my favorite King's Indian defense. And I just play these moves basically regardless of what my opponent does. I go for kind of the same setup. There's some different nuances on why you would play either c5 or e5 in a position like this that I try to pay attention to, but I get confused sometimes. So I know the general ideas of what kind of setup I can go for here and what kind of plans I have in a position like this. So definitely a little bit familiar with what I'm trying to do here. So I'm going to go ahead and go with e5 in this game. And my opponent has, several ways that he can recapture, and I have several ways that I can capture back. I can either capture back with the pawn, or I can capture back with the knight. In a long game, you would take a lot of time to think about a position like this, because if you take with the pawn, it's going to change the pawn structure. If you take with the knight, it's going to leave the pawn structure like this, and you're going to have to, be prepared to decide if your 4-on-3 majority on this side is better than the 4-on-3 majority on this side, and there's an imbalance in position, meaning that there's a lot of chances for both sides to win, which is what I like to go for. And I have my bishop fianchettoed on this diagonal here, this long diagonal, and if I take back with the pawn, I feel like I'm just closing that diagonal for no reason. But if I take with the knight, he can take with the knight anyways, and I'd have to take back with the pawn. So maybe the best idea here is to just go ahead and we'll go ahead and take with the knight. If he trades one pair of pieces, that'll probably help me out. If he trades queens and I can take back with my rook, that's going to help me out. So we'll take this way, see if it could lead us to anything. I'm not quite sure if this is the best move by any means. Probably isn't, because I'm not, the best move type of guy, but I just try to play the best that I can to my abilities. He did take back, and like I said, now he brought my rook to this open file. I didn't have to do that. He did it for me. It saves me a lot of time when he does things like that. So another thing that I can try to do see, because he has this hole in the position here. I have this pawn that can move forward, but he's going to be putting it under the attack of the knight. Let's bring my bishop to a fairly reasonable diagonal for now. They say don't just develop and not have a plan, but in 5-minute chess and you're an amateur, sometimes you just got to develop and not have a complete plan of what you want to do right away, and just kind of hope that by putting your pieces in a good position, that you can kind of find a plan. And so this knight's not doing a whole lot right now on this square, so I would love to be able to reroute it somehow, and I think I'm going to go ahead and do that, because that does allow me to, yeah, see, he saw that little trick coming, but now I can put my knight on this square, and he can kick me out of that square, but I think moving these pawns on this side of the board too quickly might just cause them to become weaknesses, so I'm banking on the idea that he doesn't want to push these pawns too quickly, but he does stop me from playing one of the moves that I wanted to play myself, clamping down the bishop in this position. So now my bishop is classically known as a bad bishop, and playing a move like f5, which is really a trademark of a lot of positions in the King's Indian defense, might not be the best idea. I'm not sure if I'm really going to be launching a kingside attack on this, so we're going to go with kind of a slow improvement move. Hopefully we don't get ourselves in too much trouble and just kind of double our rooks on the file here. Still a very complicated game. There's a lot of pieces on the board. I'm running out of time quickly. My opponent's moving very fast in this game, probably upset that he lost the last game to me and is coming back for blood. So let's see what's going to happen in this game. He plays the bishop there, which, you know, pins my my knight to the rook that I did place on kind of an awkward square. And if I defend it with my pawn and he takes, he doubles the pawn, but he gives up the bishop. So I like the bishops. I try not to ruin my pawn structure too much, but I'm not completely afraid of having a bad pawn structure. I don't know how devastating, you know, it would be to my position. Like I said, I do have the two bishops, so if I could open up the position, then maybe my pawn structure on this side of the board doesn't matter as much. And we're going to go ahead and double on this file like we had planned. He went ahead and dropped his knight into that nice square there. And I can bring my king over to help defend this square so that maybe I can kick the knight out, but I'm dropping this pawn down here if he wants it, which is definitely not what I wanted to do. Didn't want to drop pawns on this side of the board at all. Wouldn't mind doubling the pawns, but don't want to be losing them for nothing like I just had happen. But like I said, let's see if we can do something now that we at least got a chance to get our rook into the position. Oh, my knight's pinned to my king, so I'm going to have to take back with the pawn. No choice about that. Let's see if he wants to keep trading because he's up material, then we can do that as well. I think his bishop might be a little bit trapped. He might have to find a way to defend it. And that's a blunder, it looks like, because now when I pull my rook, both of the bishops are going to be hanging, and I don't think he can defend both of them at once. So that might be a really lucky break for me, especially again coming low on the clock at 1 minute and 34 seconds at 21 moves into the game. Not moving the fastest for this blitz chess, but if I could take a best 2 out of 3 here, I'll be really satisfied with that. Hopefully you'll be satisfied with that too, since like I said, the last few sessions we've had here haven't gone the best for me. So I assume he moved his bishop back to take that piece, or why is he shuffling back and forth? Let's see, he's on a light, or he's got a dark squared bishop. I'm going to move my king to a light square as prophylaxis to keep myself safe. He can still drop his rook in, but he's not threatening to take that pawn right away unless he trades the bishop or trades the knight. So I definitely need to get my pieces going. I do have a lot of pawn weaknesses, and you know, being up a piece, if I lose a bunch of pawns, isn't going to be quite enough. So I definitely don't want to just start dropping this pawn and then dropping this pawn. So he took it, And now if he infiltrates on this square, I've still got a lot of pawn weaknesses. So we'll see what he does here. He's using up a little bit of his time to try to figure out some good moves. He hasn't given up on the position yet. That's very clear. So that does give me the moment to bring this bishop down and protect this square, which is right now the one square that I was worried about him being able to bring his rook in and causing problems to my pieces here. Because even though these pawns are doubled, they are kind of in a position right now where they're in a position right now where they're guarding some key squares in the center. So let's see. I do need to find a way to break through somehow, which is not going to be very easy with him having control of this line. I can't get my rook back into the game to help like relieve any of these pieces from getting out. I guess one of my ideas would be to expand on this side where his king is and bring in my king this way, but then again, as soon as I move my king, I'm leaving these squares unattended, so I don't really want to do too much of that. Let's go ahead and block off some of these squares. Let's see. Let's do this, so that way both of these pawns are tied down. I need to keep his pieces from getting active. I mean, there should be a way to win this. All of his pieces are on light squares, which is another thing for me to consider because my bishop is on a dark square. That means I can't target any of his pawns with my bishop. My bishop is playing literally just a defensive role right now, which is kind of like not even really having the piece as an extra piece to begin with. If it's not doing too much, how does it count as an extra piece? So hopefully my opponent here is finding a way to open up the position for me. So I'm going to come down, and that way if he moves, I can come to this file and take advantage and maybe find some space for my pieces to move around. And he didn't like that too much. And so I'm going to go ahead and target that pawn, try to force it to move forward. And then, oh, I got a connection interruption there. Hopefully we come back in time, showing me that the internet is disconnected. Let me try to reconnect here really quick. With such little time on my clock, I'm very nervous to disconnect right now. Hopefully, oh, it said could not connect to the network. And now it's not showing that the network is there. Well, that might just be the end of this episode where I, or I was hopefully going to win that game, and it's not looking like I have a chance now. I'm sure my clock is ticking and I lost by now. Very disappointing, very unfortunate. But you got to see me win that first game. I think I did a pretty good job of convincingly winning that game. I was up a piece in this game, but oh, let's see, I'm out of time. Oh, and I did in fact lose on time. It did reconnect. Let's see the final position here. Let's see, it seems like, yeah, so we lost here due to time because I got disconnected. So my opponent has already left the chat. He was like, all right, cool, we disconnected and I won, peace out. So don't get to tell him good games, but I do appreciate him playing with me and going to the rematch, being able to play 2 games. Hopefully next time we won't have any connection interruptions, but I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Follow me on Twitter at StevenBearKing to find out more about the channel, when things are coming out, behind the scenes information, all that good stuff. And until the next time, I'll see you on the next video. Until then, peace.